All right, in 3, 2, 1.
Go! This is the podcast!
Are you telling me that you built a time machine? Out of a podcast?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and
podcast.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Hey everyone, welcome to Get to the Podcast. That's Get to the Podcast with the number 2. I'm Tiago de Souza.
I'm Nick Gambino.
And I'm Neil Carson.
And Thanos is dead.
Thanos is dead?
Yeah, he died.
No, he didn't, actually. You didn't see the movie, apparently.
No, I told
Oh,
you.
wait, hold on. Spoiler alert. We're going to be talking about Avengers Infinity War, and we are going to spoil the fucking shit out of it, because there's no way you could talk about this movie without spoiling it, because the points you want to talk about are the spoilers, especially at the end.
It's just because, well, the whole thing, too, is that it's like, I literally had to disconnect myself from social media and from stuff for seeing anything. I was like, I do not want to see anything
people
before.
are assholes.
And people are fucking out there. Yeah.
I read this headline. Okay, so if you haven't seen it and you don't want to hear about Avengers Infinity War, press stop on your tape cassette player. This is on tape, right? This is on tape. This is a Maxell cassette tape. This is Maxell cassette tape.
We saw this in the past.
Yeah.
We do release cassettes of it.
Yes,
we do.
We
release
should
cassette.
actually.
Yeah, we should, yeah.
No,
we do. We
So-
actually release 8 tracks
Yeah.
with the little white piece of paper, so you can put it
that's
underneath it so it
right.
doesn't skip.
There you go. I don't like any spoilers. I don't like any spoilers
Well-
when I'm going to see a movie. No, I don't. Like, this is what happened. I didn't want to see any spoilers. I saw it on Friday night, so it was like the day after it came out. So, and somebody literally wrote in a headline article, they said they were like, okay, it wasn't a spoiler, but to me it kind of was. They were like, oh, let's talk about that cliffhanger ending. I'm like, I don't want to know that there's a fucking cliffhanger ending, you son of a bitch.
But you knew there was 2 movies, right?
No, first off, I actually didn't somehow. There was originally, it was supposed to be Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2, and they said they were no longer doing Infinity War Part 2, and that's where my mind left it. Like, I was like, oh, there's no Part 2 to this movie.
Yeah.
But there is a Part 2 to this movie. They're just not
Yeah.
calling it Infinity War Part 2. And apparently, they've already filmed it. They filmed these movies back to back.
Yeah, it's called Avengers.
By the
We
way,
don't know. No, that's all. Yeah, that's what it's being called right now, but we actually don't know. It's coming out next year. in a
Infinity
year.
War.
I'm just laughing.
Do.
Nick
Part
just
2.
sat here complaining about this article where he read, and he just spoiled it for everyone, telling them there's a sequel.
What? No, I just said we're going to be spoiling the shit out of this movie. How many times did I say that?
I just thought it was funny.
I qualified the shit out of this.
That's actually not a real spoiler. Spoiler is
No.
what happened to me.
No.
That was a
what happened to
spoiler.
you?
Yeah,
I saw
that's-
this article. It was like what to expect in the next Avengers film, and I was like, oh, they're making another one after this. And then so I had a similar, I guess, spoiler.
Yeah.
And then I read the first line of the article, and it's like, well, since these characters are dead, and I was like, what the shit? And I hadn't seen the movie.
Who the fuck writes that in the
Then I
first
look up,
paragraph?
and there's like this tiny red word. It's like spoiler.
Yeah, you better splash it across the
like-
page if you're going to spoil it. No, that's a real spoiler. Mine's
That's
a slight
hilarious.
spoiler, but I don't
Yeah.
like that. Like, I didn't want to know that there was a cliffhanger ending, because then it makes my mind start going, and I kind of can guess.
No, this is how it
at
ends.
things.
Like I thought this was the end of Marvel, where we're ending.
If
Marvel
they did
forever.
that would be ballsy, because they don't need you, because they can make so
should.
much more money.
They should.
I actually got no
You're a
spoilers, so
fucking Scrooge. You know that? You're
I disconnected from everything, and
you're
I
a
did well.
scroll.
So you didn't hear nothing.
I didn't hear
All right,
anything.
but
That's
we've
good.
all
That's
seen
good.
this movie.
We've
I
all
mean,
seen
you
it.
two. Sometimes trying to get you two to see blockbuster big movies like in the first week they're out is hard.
I'm gonna
but you
see.
both
I'll
have
see
seen
Solo.
It.
I'll try to see it.
Well,
Solo
yeah, I
first.
think Solo. Star
And
Wars is its own thing.
Jurassic Fallen Kingdom.
you
Although-
got Jurassic and you
Jurassic.
got Solo.
Yeah,
Those
that-
are the 2 I'm actually excited for.
Me too. That new Jurassic World preview actually made me more excited for it than any earlier.
It actually
preview.
didn't.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't.
Oh, really?
I'm still like, I'm still just like, man, these dinosaurs are now going to. It's like Friday the 13th, Jason in New York
It's like
again,
Lost
or what?
World.
You
Yeah.
know, it's
where are you
Jason
gonna
takes
go?
Manhattan. Jason takes Manhattan.
takes me. Yeah, exactly.
Unless
I
the
love that one.
dinosaurs start talking and they're like having tea with like a velociraptor, like where could you go? Like the
I mean, think
dinosaurs
about
have to
it.
try to kill
That's
you.
where you can go.
Here's
and that's
my
what
whole
they're gonna do.
That would be awesome.
They first they created a different Tyrannosaurus Rex in the second one.
Yeah, what was that? No, the most recent one
The
you're
most-
talking about?
Oh,
It's not
the
T-Rex.
Verizon,
No, yeah,
Verizon
just-
presents the. Oh shit! What
Yeah.
was it called?
Not the Spinosaurus.
No, that was in Jurassic World
That was
3.
3, yeah.
the much larger saurus. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
And
Humongousaurus.
yeah,
or some shit.
yeah. Crazysaurus.
Oh, I
Crazy
can't
lot of
remember.
teeth. It's gonna kill you if you
It
don't
was-
run. Because
it
if
was
you run, it's still
smarter and
gonna
it
kill you.
camouflaged.
But it
It's
was
so
like
big,
Samsung and Verizon. pretty
so
much.
big
Yeah.
in Saurus. Yeah.
Samsung. Yeah.
And now they're
They
doing
paid
it.
for it.
And now they're doing it with a raptor.
Yeah.
So it's
Not-
like.
Yeah, but I like what they were doing. First off, this
like
is
it when you
totally
slow
off
down.
topic. This
Yeah,
is totally
but-
off topic. But no, let's back it up for a second. Just with this preview, they showed this kind of concept of selling off these dinosaurs to the highest bidder. This like kind of underground, almost like
It's like a
trafficking
Taken situation.
Yeah, it's like Taken
So-
with dinosaurs. They're gonna have a raptor up
Chris
there
Pratt
in
is basically
lingerie
Liam Neeson,
with the
is
bra
what you're
strap
saying.
hanging off. They're gonna have this coked up
So
dinosaur.
wait. Is Blue supposed to be Liam Neeson's daughter? Is that what you're
Yeah.
telling me?
Yep.
Yeah. Was that
Here's
Maggie
my
Grace?
That's
here's my
awful.
problem
Maggie
with
Grace,
it.
yeah.
The storyline seems to me that it's, oh, this land is dying. Let's take the dinosaurs out of here, bring them to a safer place.
Which is plausible because
Wait,
Hawaii is on fire right
yeah,
now. So.
but yeah.
Yeah.
So this is actually real time happening.
But the last
And
movie,
then you have and while we're doing that, let's sell some of these motherfuckers off to some highest bidders.
Yeah.
Because that would be the good thing to do.
That's an interesting.
Not
That's
all-
an interesting story, though. And the last movie did leave that cliffhanger because what's his face took the DNA thing.
BD
Yeah,
Wong?
no,
BD
it's
Wong,
totally
yeah.
fine.
He took
but-
it and went off the island, and he was like, "You got the idea that this kind of thing was going to happen, and now they're doing it." So I thought that was
This movie's based on
fascinating.
2 fucking really bad ideas. That's what I'm saying.
All these movies
I
are
mean,
built on bad
it
ideas.
all-
It's the whole
it all-
point of
it
Jurassic
all-
Park.
It all is
The
going to come
bad
down
idea.
to the presentation, like how they're
Yeah.
able to communicate.
And
like,
the
what's
director,
going on.
Jay-
if you take it seriously,
name?
then I think it could be good. I think it could be
Yeah,
really
the director
entertaining.
J.A. Boyega or whatever his name is, who did The Orphanage.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's done
yeah.
like these kind of like suspenseful, almost.
I like The
horror,
Orphanage
like,
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he did another movie like that. Oh fuck, I forget what it is, but he's done these very
Yeah.
indie kind of suspenseful horror type films.
Yeah.
He's a great. I think he's a great director for a Jurassic World movie.
Yeah.
So, anyways, but we're talking Infinity War.
Yeah.
But there we did see the trailer for this.
We just
before
had to
Infinity
cover so
War.
we don't spoil too
Yeah.
much of it.
Basically, we're starting with the trailers before Infinity War.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing.
What else did we see? What other trailers?
Deadpool.
No, but let's go.
Yeah,
into
let's go
Infinity War.
let's go into
Oh,
it.
yeah.
There's some good trailers.
Let's not
in there,
stick
but-
on that joke.
All right, so
What?
So what did we think of this? What did we think?
yeah,
of
let's
this
go
movie?
around. Yeah, Nick. Well, fuck, Nick stays last because I know what he thinks.
We already know what Nick thinks.
Yeah.
Well, first
It's
off,
like-
go ahead.
I saw it
literally
twice.
second coming of Christ that just happened. Infinity War.
No, that's not true. But I saw it twice. I saw it twice in theaters.
Yeah.
And one time I saw it with you, Neil.
Yeah.
We went to. We
The
finally went to the
Uptown.
Uptown, which you've been telling me
Yeah.
about this theater, this kind of
It's
old school
cool.
theater. It
Yeah.
was cool.
It was cool. It was
They
that-
didn't draw the curtains.
It had occurred to me that I hadn't been there since Return of the King came out.
15 years ago.
And like back then, I guess they didn't have like stadium theaters or stadium seating. So like, it was just weird. I like in my mind, my memory, it was like this massive. I mean, it's a big
Right.
theater, but
Yeah.
It has the curved screen. They didn't
Yeah.
draw the curtain. Like they didn't actually.
they
pull
didn't
the
do
curtain,
that.
So that was
yeah.
a little bit. I was a
Maybe
little
for
bit-
like opening night they do that.
Yeah,
or
I was a little
something, 'cause
disappointed
they
about that.
definitely
And,
did it
there was no
when I
surround
went.
sound.
Oh, you guys-
surprisingly.
Yeah,
What?
it seemed like the
Yeah,
sound.
it was all in
seemed
the front.
weird.
It was all at the front
definitely
of the
seemed-
screen, which
Well, no,
threw me off.
there were speakers on the side.
No, but they were in the front though.
I don't know. I haven't
No.
been. I realize I haven't been there in like.
Yeah, but either
15
way, it was a good
years.
experience, and we enjoyed them. I mean, you did enjoy the movie. I mean,
Oh,
I
yeah.
get it, you do have opinions, I'm sure, but like,
I definitely liked Infinity Wars a lot.
Yeah.
Like I liked it when I say I like it a lot. I mean, I was very entertained and I found the jokes funny.
Yeah.
I found the humor funny. The only thing that stood out to me is I was talking with Diego earlier, like it's like there was no emotional connection to any of
Yeah.
the characters, and
Right.
so many things are happening so fast, which is expected in an Avenger films. Like
especially with that many characters in it.
yeah, and like so it's like you basically have all these individual films that have come out over the last 10 years, and then they all kind of like all the events, these small little moments in those films kind of add up to this one film.
Right.
Yeah.
And so no one really shines other than maybe the bad guy.
Right.
Like the bad guy, I guess, shined in this. And I thought he was great.
I thought he was actually good.
Josh
I
Brolin
thought-
was fantastic.
I thought
as-
they were gonna screw the pooch on Thanos.
No, he was good.
I thought he was just gonna be like this world conqueror, whatever
He's like
kind
calm.
of character.
His calmness, like the whole fucking movie, like he's just calm.
Yeah. Which is
he
fair.
had,
Crazy shit's
he had
happening.
his
It
own
was terrifying.
sadistic moral like compass. It
Yeah.
was really interesting.
Yeah,
He's like,
like
I'm
he had
doing
a-
the right thing.
You really do believe that he had this conviction. Like
Yeah.
they made him more layered. It wasn't just a world conconqueror for power, which I thought
Yeah.
that's
he
what I
wanted
thought
to
they were gonna
save
do.
the universe. Yeah.
He was like, no, I had this idea that if we could just balance life, like there's a finite finite number of resources in this universe or in all universes.
Yeah.
And there's just too much life. We're
I feel
sucking
like
up all the resources.
They
Yeah.
should like. I kind of wish there was more backstory. Maybe they'll have more backstory with his character
Yeah.
to kind of understand
What
why
happened
he thinks
before.
this way.
Yeah, they only said that he was on
explained it.
Titan. It started with they didn't go into too much detail, but when they went to his home planet,
Yeah.
Titan, they talked about like that's where
Yeah.
he first came up with the concept. Was he had this idea for his own planet, and they ignored him
Ignored
until
him,
it
yep.
basically the place was swallowed whole by itself and just couldn't sustain, and now it's like a terrible wasteland.
Yeah.
And he was like, from that point on, you get the idea that he's like, no, what I think is
proves
right,
his
and I
theory,
gotta go.
yeah.
I gotta go force this down everybody else's fucking throat. And
Yeah.
he started it off with mass genocide,
Yeah.
or xenocide even, where he'd go to planets and he would just wipe out large hordes of people. That's how he found
Or, like, half the
Gamora.
planet.
Yeah, like half the planet. Like when he found Gamora and he's like giving her that little. I like that scene with a little child Gamora and he's showing her that knife that
The
kind of
balance
balances.
knife.
He's giving her this concept, teaching her this little lesson.
Yeah.
As they fucking
It's a crazy scene.
murdering all these people behind her. She tries to look, and he kind of just faces her forward again and gets her to relook at the knife.
Man,
I like
he
that.
basically kidnapped her.
He did, but like it was this balance. Like that scene right there encapsulates this character. It's
Yeah.
like he's capable of this mass murder, like insanity.
Yeah.
But he somehow had this sweet spot for this girl. Like something about that
Yeah.
tapped into his own humanity, if you can call it humanity.
Yeah.
And I like that scene.
Yeah,
So-
I really do. That's a good scene. That's
Yeah,
a
it's good
really
scene.
good
Anyways,
scene.
I thought his character was really, like, it was really well fleshed out, and he was the best element
He
of
was-
that movie. All the other characters, right, there was just not enough. There's no way. There was a 2.5 hour movie, and they couldn't do it. So I think they handled the complexity and that many characters pretty well, but they couldn't let any of them shine emotionally. I do
Well,
agree
I
with
think
you on
what
that.
they did is that
It's
he
too- I don't know how
he
you would
was
do it. I
he
don't know how
was
you would do
the main story of the film. The villain was the main story of Infinity War. And
Yeah,
that's
seeing as
what-
though he
that-
won, that does make sense.
that
yeah.
that made the whole movie like great. So I understood why they only showcased like the other heroes a certain amount of times, because he literally, like, I don't know, he was just the main focus. He was the main story. There wasn't a lot of focus on Thor. Right from the beginning, it was about him
Yeah.
dealing with Thor.
Well, they basically make
dealing
you
with
think
yeah.
Thor's dead right in
Yeah.
the beginning. Yeah.
They make
Yeah,
you think
exactly.
like this guy is like fucking like insane. How like
He beats the shit out of the Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
like,
Hulk
we
doesn't,
got a Hulk.
like
The Hulk will not
out,
come back out of the movie, the whole movie.
which in itself
Yeah.
is humorous.
That was funny, actually.
was
no, like he was just like he beat the shit out of him so fucking bad that he's like, nope, I'm done.
And
Getting
Bruce
my ass
Banner's
kicked.
like, "What's wrong with you, bro? Like, I don't understand what the problem
exactly.
is."
Right.
Yeah.
They gotta work on their communication. Them
They
too.
do. Apparently, that's actually signifying a complete change in that character too in the future movies. I have a. Okay, people
Grey
are gonna
Hulk?
kill me because I haven't really been up on my Marvel comics in a really long time.
That's
and I haven't
literally
gone
okay.
in my,
I've
yeah,
never
I
read
mean,
a Marvel
I'm-
comic in my life.
I know,
so-
but I still have the hundreds of comics I had as a kid, but I never really paid attention to the sequence of things and the foundation of characters particularly.
Yeah.
But there was a time period in the into the 90s, and these were the Hulk comics I was reading where Hulk was very intelligent.
Yeah.
Something had happened where he was no longer switching Bruce Banner or the Hulk. He was always the Hulk.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he was a complete person. Like he
Yeah.
was
It
intelligent.
was like Beast or something.
Yeah, exactly. That kind of thing. Like he was completely Bruce Banner in Hulk form.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
So I'm wondering if they're gonna maybe somehow something's gonna happen to
Just
like
get rid
create
of
that. Mark
what's the actor?
Ruffalo.
Mark
Yeah.
Ruffalo.
Well, he
yeah.
could just still do it as like a motion capture kind of thing because you would still need that kind of personality blended
Yeah.
in there. But
Oh.
anyways, I don't know if that
Just
has
like,
anything to do with this.
What's his name?
I don't know. Are you excited for 10 more years of Marvel movies?
Well, they're going to be completely different. They're ending this whole slew of movies.
Different,
so
different or not? Are you?
Okay, let me tell you this one thing. Marvel did Guardians of the Galaxy, which should never have worked, which was not popular in comic book. Like, people didn't know it except for comic book nerds. Nobody even kw Guardians of the Galaxy. I have one
Yeah,
or
I had
two-
never heard of it.
Never even
no.
heard of it. They had a fucking raccoon in a tree that speaks
A rabbit.
For rabbit. That's right. I love that. That was really funny.
There's a lot of
There's a lot of good humor in this movie,
Yeah.
but there's a fucking talking sadistic raccoon and a forward speaking tree.
yeah.
Those should
Thor
work.
speaks Groot too.
Yes. Oh yeah. It was an elective.
Yeah.
The
He's
tree.
elective
The tree.
on Asgard.
on Asgard. Yeah, but it's like that should never have worked. the whole Star-Lord thing, like all of that shit, Drax the Destroyer, that whole thing.
But you could say the
wasn't
same for
based on
all of the
anything.
Marvel
Two
films.
things worked
Not
for that
necessarily.
film.
People knew Thor. Even Iron Man was not like a leading, like he was a known entity. Nobody
you
knew
mean
Guardians
like
of the
worked
Galaxy.
for popularity?
Two things
Yeah,
worked
it's
for
like, it
Guardians
wasn't
of the
like,
Galaxy.
It didn't have a built-in fan base, really.
Soundtrack and Chris Pratt.
Yeah, and humor, and those are
That's
really
called
fun
Chris
movies.
Pratt.
James Gunn,
James Gunn,
he's,
great.
he's
He did
He
a
wrote
great
all
job.
the
Yeah, he
dialogue
did.
for Infinity War for the Guardians of the Galaxy.
He did a great job.
They brought him in because he is the Guardians of the Galaxy guru. He's the guy who created that world and those characters, and he writes those scripts like single-handedly. Like he wrote the first two movies. It's not like he has a huge
I enjoyed
team.
the first
and
two
he had
movies.
so he was brought in to do all
Yeah.
the touch-ups, all the writing for Guardians of the Galaxy, which is why it still feels like the Guardians of the Galaxy movies when they're in it.
Yeah.
It was. Are you? Go ahead. I'll let you finish.
I had this realization about these films. It's they because they're all based on comic books.
Yeah.
In many ways, the films feel like I was saying this to Diego earlier. The films feel like a 10-year long Netflix special.
Right.
And so it's like every year you get like a little bit more of the story, and then there's like one film that kind of like joins everyone together, and then they all split up again, and you get more of their individual stories, and then there's another film, and it feels never ending.
Right.
So it creates this phenomena where like I'll still go back and watch like Watchmen. Like I'll watch that movie from beginning to end because it ends.
Right.
Like it's a finished thing in my mind. Like I can finish it and then move on to something else to enjoy.
I have to challenge
and it
you on
doesn't
that, though.
linger. Like I actually haven't rewatched any of those Marvel films.
Right.
And like just we rewatched them just to enjoy that one film.
Okay, I need to say two things about this. I have to challenge you on this point you're bringing up because you're a big TV shows guy and you fucking
Well,
stuck it
not
out with
really.
House of Cards and Westworld. If it goes
Yeah,
on
but
10
even
seasons,
those-
you're going to be watching all 10 seasons.
But those I'll
you don't know when they're ending.
But those I will binge like a whole season, and then I won't see it for like a year and a half.
Right.
And then that's it. And I'm just like, that was crazy.
Right.
Just the fact that you can
But
sit
you won't
down and watch in one day.
But the Marvel
like a
movies is like you won't
10
see an
hour-long-
episode for like a year.
What do you mean, like a movie?
Yeah, if you
Well,
consider
how many-
that like
they came out
that,
with
it's like
what,
an episodic
4
thing.
movies last year or something?
3, I think.
3 movies?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Spider-Man: Homecoming, Thor: Ragnarok, and Black Panther.
Black
Yeah.
Panther, okay.
But I'm just saying you only saw one of them. So, but I'm just saying, so it's
Yeah, I
like it's
saw
like
to see the other
episodic.
one.
It's like they're not actually. It's not the same as binging an entire fucking season all at once. Like, it's. I'm just saying.
You don't-
I get.
you don't
I get
think
that.
it's
I just
episodic?
I think you're. No, I do think it's episodic. I'm just saying. I
Like,
don't
would
think
you go
that's
back
a
and-
problem like you're saying it is.
Well,
And
would you go
I'm
back and
challenging you on
rewatch
your
those
point.
movies? Like, would you
Okay,
go back and
that was
watch
my second
Iron Man
point.
3?
This is
and
my second
go
point.
rewatch Thor?
Actually, I'd
2?
watch the Iron Man movies more often than anything. And
Really?
and Ant-Man. I really liked Ant-Man a lot. And the Captain America movies. Here's the thing. This was my second point was I actually do understand what you mean. I never feel a desire to go back or like I have to go back and watch those Marvel movies. When I feel like I've seen it one time, I feel like if there was no multi-layered like complexity thing that I didn't get or that I feel like, oh, there's something to be gotten out of this from a second time. When I get it, it's like I got it. So I do understand that. I do feel that way about the Marvel movies. I do repeat views on some of these things. I'll watch them again, but not necessarily
But there's
all
like,
of them, or do I feel I have to?
You
So
know
I
what
do
it is?
agree.
There's you know what it is that I think
I don't think it's a knock on the movie, though.
I did like Infinity War. I'm just gonna make that
Yeah.
clear.
Yeah, you
just
were.
So people know I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You saw me.
Yeah. You
I was
laughed at all the
laughing,
jokes, and you were engaged.
and I was engaged. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no stakes. Like I know that they
Okay, first off,
died.
there's no
I
bigger
know they
stakes in
died,
this
but like
It's not even a world
it doesn't
ending thing.
even
It's a
feel
universe.
genuine. I know that they're gonna bring these motherfuckers back.
Is that
So
why?
Yes, I know they're gonna bring them back.
But you don't know if they're gonna do
they're
that.
running around telling everybody they're dead. Like, guys, these guys are dead. We're never gonna bring back Spider-Man or Black Panther, even though we have 2 films coming out
And
with
that's what I'm
Spider-Man
saying.
and Black
What's
Panther.
gonna happen?
Lies. They're lying to everybody just so people will get hyped to see the next
But
movie
you don't
and they'll
know
make
that.
$2 billion.
You don't know that because first off, if 10 of these guys are dead forever, that's a pretty big fucking
all right.
pull the plug.
They should kill all of them.
Okay, but let me just say, first off, you haven't seen Black Panther or Spider-Man: Homecoming, so you don't know what the hell
That's
you're
what I
talking
thought
about.
was gonna happen. I thought everyone was gonna die, and this is gonna be like the last one, and then.
But here's the thing: is like we
Thanos
don't
would die
know
with
what's
them
going to
and-
happen. There's a lot of theories out there. But we don't really know what's gonna happen here.
I know what's gonna happen.
You don't know shit.
I do,
But I'm saying
man.
apparently some of these people
The
really
Thanos
are
is
dead.
gonna go.
I don't know what they're gonna do.
Thanos is gonna go. I'm just playing.
He just snapped his finger
Just
again.
snapped his
and it's
finger.
gonna all undo.
I scared you guys,
You
didn't
should have
I?
aimed for the head.
I scared you guys good, didn't I? That was a good.
You should have aimed
I mean,
for the head.
I understand from the viewpoint that like a lot of the actors are getting like they're like we want to move on to other things. I don't want to keep making these Marvel films. So like either figure out a new direction for this character or kill him off or transition him into something as some CG thing or whatever so I don't have to keep showing up.
Yeah.
Or just reboot it.
Here's
I don't
what
think
pissed
they're going to
me off.
reboot, but maybe like you said, maybe they will, try like transition to some of these alternate reality.
Yeah, they could just
Characters
be
or
Here's what
something.
pissed
They
me
could
off.
be Black Spider-Man
Iron
or
Fist.
something. Miles Morales.
Here's what pissed me
Iron
off about the
Fist.
film.
Please no.
Yeah.
I so
Iron
I
Man
know a lot of
Fist.
people wouldn't accept this, but I loved how they talked about Iron Man in the movie, like he was the world's #1 superhero.
Yeah.
Thor said that. Was it Thor? I think it was Thor. Said that a lot of people showed respect. I think the movie would have been more impactful if he would have died.
I think it's interesting that everybody
just-
he was with on that distant planet with no way to get home died instead of him, and including the kid that he
Oh,
brought
yeah,
there
it's
and
to-
snatched out of
He
obscurity.
literally threw that kid off the ship and was like,
Yeah.
go back, no.
But this is a kid he brought into this
Yeah.
world and never had to. Like he did that to this kid. Like
Yeah.
he brought him into the fold, and then he even said, "You're now an Avenger"
Yeah.
in the movie.
But there's that scene with him and, what is it, Penny?
No, Pepper.
Pepper, yeah.
Pepper Potts.
She's like, get off the ship, and he's just
And it
like,
breaks
no,
up.
like he could have left right
Yeah.
then and there, and he chose not to. He's like, I'm gonna die.
That's the
I'm
thing.
gonna
He
die
always
doing what I do.
chooses this. Yeah, he's like, I have
So
to do
he-
this.
yeah.
And then he didn't die, and I felt left out, let down.
No,
that
but
he
that
didn't-
scene where
I thought it would've
Spider-Man
been more
dies in his
epic,
arm,
you're
though,
right.
Yeah.
that scene where Tom Holland's Spider-Man dies in his arms is an emotional scene. I thought that was really good. And what's
I thought
interesting
Tom
about
Holland did a good job
he did.
with that scene, but I didn't
and it was
care
improvised,
that it was
by the way.
Spider-Man.
I get it. It doesn't matter. It was emotional.
And he had like the claws shooting out of his back.
That's he gave him a fucking Iron Man suit. What do you expect? Do you see what Iron Man suit
was
does?
weird.
All right. Anyways, what's his face? Tom Holland. Apparently he not even apparently.
No, he
improvised that scene. That
Yeah.
scene where he's like I don't want to die. I don't want to. Like you literally feel for. He's a fucking kid. He's like what 16, 17. Like you really feel for him in
I
that
did.
scene. And then shut up. Because you're a fucking heartless bastard.
I
No,
did
it's
for
not
like-
that I'm heartless.
For like a second, but then I realized I was being tricked because I'm like, this is Spider-Man.
I guess I gotta
Does
say.
it feel like shitty to be who you are? Like, do you ever just like wake up, look in the mirror, and be like,
No,
I'm dead inside?
That's why I realized like these films aren't made for me, man.
Look,
They're
I
not
didn't.
made for
And
me.
Spider-Man's like
Maybe you're not
my
made for
favorite
them.
superhero.
I'm not
My-
the audience
Spider-Man's my
that these
favorite
films are
superhero.
made for.
And
Say again?
Spider-Man is like my favorite
superhero, yeah.
Yeah, I think. Like one of my favorite top
Okay.
top 3.
Okay.
And I was like, oh man, why? But I really.
That scene.
Are
There's
you
no
done?
way.
Can I explain my feelings?
There's
My
no
emotions?
way you
okay,
didn't
okay,
feel
hold
for that
on.
scene.
I just want to make
I
one
don't-
point. One point.
Yeah, go ahead.
So when like the first person died, who was whoever, I don't remember, Captain America or something. When
Zoe
Somebody.
was the first person to die.
Well, no. I mean the first one that turned into dust.
Gamora. Oh, the
Like,
first
there
one.
were
Yeah,
people-
when Thanos snapped his fingers and half
Yeah.
the universe.
Like
just
Loki got
was
his
gone.
choked out right in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah. God, who was the first person
got
to fade? It was
snapped.
not Star Lord. It was.
No, it wasn't Star Lord. That was like way later. People were fading.
Oh, it was like
Black
it was like
Panther.
it was like Winter Soldier or something like that. It was one
Yeah,
of those.
yeah.
Winter
See, like
Soldier, I think-
Bucky was
yeah,
coming over,
yeah.
and Captain
Yeah.
America's like, well, and everybody's like, what's happening? And then they just start jumping all over to the
Yeah.
different locations of people. So then when it reached to like 10 people, like 10 major characters in this Marvel universe, I was like, oh, this is bullshit. not that like I can't believe they're doing this. Like none of these matter because they're going to bring all these people back, or they're going to bring a bunch of them back. Like there's no way they're going to allow all of these characters to just fade away in this one.
But you don't know
film.
that.
I do know that, and you know that too.
I don't. I really
Why are
don't.
you in denial?
Why are you fucking so harping on something you don't
Am
know?
I right?
Have you glanced at
I don't
next
think
year's
that's-
You know,
script?
they'll come out with the sequel, and then maybe they won't bring him back in Avengers Part 2 or whatever, Infinity Wars Part 2.
That's the last Avengers
but
movie.
there's going to be another...
No, that's the last Avengers
There's going to
movie.
be another movie where something's going to happen, and then somebody's going to get like the resurrection
If 10 of these
Infinity
people-
Stone, and then
If 8, 9, or 10 of these people are gone forever, that is a pretty fucking bold move.
if they stay dead, yeah, sure.
They may bring a couple of them back, but not necessarily all. I don't know what they're gonna do, but I am interested
There's
to see
weird-
what's gonna happen. I'm invested in the next story. Don't tell me you're fucking not, because you do want to see what they do. You
you
want to
wanna
see if they
finish it
fucking
off.
do
I'll see
You want to
it.
finish it off,
Yeah.
of course.
I wanna
yeah.
see
You
where it
guys are
goes.
so fucking bananas.
No, that's what I'm not. I'm being like, I'm trying to be devil's advocate here, but I enjoyed the film. I had a good time watching the movie, but like a part of me is just like
You link up with Diego, and this is what happens.
No, it's not that. Like a part of me knows deep
honest.
down that like I've watched too many films to be snowed by these Hollywood.
But what if they change that?
See,
what
I'm
if they
not-
decide
see,
not to go that
I'm
route
not
because
saying-
they are like, you know what? People are going to expect
Yeah.
that, so we need to go in another direction. That's the only way we're going to stand apart because you can only grow
Stand apart
by
from what?
changing.
They have no competition.
No, by Hollywood standards, like what you're saying is this basic bullshit. Like, oh, I know it's comic book movies. Anybody can come back to life, so fuck it. Like they're trying to get away
You know
from
who you
that.
can
Let's
blame?
just first state
You know who you can
that
blame?
Thanos had three or six fucking rocks attached to a gold glove and snapped his fingers. Half the universe fucking died. That is like some magic shit that only could happen in a comic book, and you're acting like they couldn't undo 10 people? Like, what are you talking about? This guy killed half not half the Milky Way galaxy, half of the fucking universe, like a billion, trillion, gazillion galaxies. This is so ridiculous to me. That in itself, when they said universe, I was like, I could see like maybe galaxy. I could have that. But like when they said fucking universe, I was like, this is stupid. This is fucking stupid.
Wow. You know,
Am I wrong?
agree to
It
disagree.
doesn't-
It's a fucking comic book
Did you
movie.
just-
People confuse universe and galaxy, and they are two completely different
And the
things.
fact that they let a bunch of British fucking school wizards fucking save the world in a shitload of fucking movies that you're totally okay with, little
movies?
fucking Harry Potter.
how are you going to compare Harry Potter to this?
Oh, you're not?
No.
You're gonna defend Harry Potter?
Yes.
Why?
Because Harry Potter is like this linear story with a handful of characters.
Excuse me?
It takes place in a
Excuse
very
me?
closed environment.
Okay, so you just described this. Go ahead, keep going.
What do you mean?
You just described Avengers, but go ahead, keep going. It's a linear story with a handful. Okay, go ahead, keep going.
No, it's not a handful of
It's
a
like 10 to
lot
15.
more.
No, it's
a
like
lot
10 to
more.
15, like, and that's where it
It's a
maxes
lot.
out.
They don't have standalone Harry films and standalone Hermione films and standalone Ron films.
Doesn't
where
matter.
They're like fleshing out their
They
characters.
don't have 8 Avengers movies. Harry Potter movies are like 8 Avengers movies. Each one, it has all of them in it.
It's a they're all okay. First, that's
Okay,
so
first
easy.
off-
first of all, each
First
Harry
off-
Potter film takes place at 1 year of Hogwarts, which is only like a few months out of the year. That's it.
I love how you're saying these like these are arguments against my point.
You're
like
just,
where they have
you're
nothing to
just
do.
bringing this up just to derail me from the
Because-
most obvious point that he snapped his
'Cause you're coming up
fingers
with
and
s-
half the universe. You couldn't even calculate on a human calculator how many people he fucking murdered. That's how insane it is. It's just a ludicrous
In Master of the
concept.
Universe, they use the
All right,
fucking
all right,
rigged
all right,
keyboard
we're out,
to
we're
fucking
out.
jump through fucking dimensions. Okay.
No, we had the technology of music, and Gwildor didn't know.
Wow.
Terrible.
Master's Universe. Is
I gotta
totally
say that.
real.
I gotta say that.
That could really
what
happen.
you just said had more emotional impact to me about what Thanos did.
It really stood out to me. And I was just like, I'm just gonna let it go because
Because it's a
whatever.
comic book movie that you have to suspend disbelief or suspend belief.
Yeah,
I always
but
forget. What is it?
I don't
Suspend
know.
belief, right?
Yeah, I think it's a suspend
belief.
belief.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
think of
Suspend disbelief. That's what
I'm
they
trying
say.
to think of the last
Suspend disbelief.
like Marvel, like from Iron Man forward, like the last one of any of those films with any of those characters where I actually felt something, and it wasn't. We talked about this before in a previous podcast, but it was the second Spider-Man
Yeah.
with Tobey Maguire.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like that's the
Which is
last
not in
film
this
where I
universe.
actually felt something for a superhero character.
Okay. Watchmen. I thought you
Well,
really
yeah,
liked
Watchmen is like riddled with. It's like an emotional roller
that.
coaster.
Yeah, Dark Knight. I think
because
you
it's like it's insane.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
It's a
Diego?
little bit different though. Watchmen is like very of hard R.
I know.
Hard
I
R.
agree.
It's hard.
Uh,
It's fucking hard.
What?
Because here's the thing.
What are you referring to?
Are we talking about Infinity Wars?
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying something else. I thought
I
were
know you
just-
guys doing another podcast
this
during
is
doing this
Circle
podcast.
of honesty.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Circle
This
of
is what
honesty.
this is what
Circle of truth.
makes it hard for me.
Yeah.
Is
Circle of
because
honesty.
I understand the hype, the following, that's behind these Marvel films. To me, there has not been a Marvel film that has been a failure. They are incredible film, and like watching this last film, Infinity Wars, showed me that like Marvel Studios and the people that are writing these stories are fucking phenomenal. They
It's
are
true.
phenomenal.
They are.
These stories are how difficult it fucking is to take care of so many characters.
Oh, Infinity War is
and-
like fucking
And not even just in even the Avengers films, and just
tying them all together.
have these separated films and properly bring them in together and still take care of each and every one of them individually. That's an incredible time-consuming form of writing.
Yeah.
That's just amazing.
Yep.
There's so much attention to details, to characters, and they are all different, but they all come in together and they blend together. They stand out together. There's no failure in how they wrote these films at all.
Right.
Yet, I am being biased. It's hard for me because I'm overwhelmed with so many fucking superhero films that I'm just not feeling the impact. That is just me. I see the impact. I see the impact of Infinity Wars. It's there. I see. I understand the storylines. I see. Wow, this is incredible. Like I said, how they're writing these films. It's still like I wanted you to teach me in college. Why?
Right.
Where the fuck were you guys? You know, I feel
Well,
like
it's never been done
if
before,
if you
I
would have
don't
taught
think.
me in college, I would have got a Golden Globe.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
it.
Or
You know,
Oscar, hopefully.
or a
Don't
fucking
tell your
Oscar.
short, man.
Yeah.
Think of another like
Either one,
connected
yeah.
universe like this that has existed. I don't think it exists in film.
No, it
No,
doesn't.
they-
Television,
I mean, and if
maybe.
you,
No, DC's been trying to do it, but they're
they're
failing at it.
Yeah, that's
Marvel
how
just-
hard it fucking is. You're going.
Marvel
Marvel's
knocked it out
going
of the park.
against the greatest superheroes, like in comic books, which is Superman, Batman. Those are the greatest superheroes. Like, there's never been like a story that's been. The cartoons were fucking like
Yep.
incredible, and they fucking failed in the films. They fucking fell in the films.
The closest thing to this is probably like Friday the 13th, because there's
Yeah.
like 12 of
Yeah.
those movies.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, and that.
But
and
they
that's
don't
like a whole
crisscross into a
universe.
bunch
They
of
don't-
different.
they don't-
A
Because
little bit
of
of
one
Freddy,
movie,
Freddy versus
Freddy
Jason,
Jason. Yeah, that one
like if you look at the
crossover.
DC films, if you look at Justice League.
and Jason goes to hell.
They don't go well together. Like Justice League is not working out. Like Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, they're just not. It's not fitting as
Right.
they are a team at all. It's just this. I don't know. It's just this like fucking.
They don't have Kevin Feige. They don't have an
They don't-
overall guy who literally just has visions for these
Yeah,
films
exactly.
and knows how to bring in the right talent to blend into this universe. Still
Exactly.
bring their own signature
Yeah.
style, but like still make it match with the overall tone of this
Well,
universe.
it's like they're
they
playing
created.
catch up.
Exactly.
And they should
Yeah.
not be trying to play catch up.
They
They should
shouldn't.
be doing
DC,
their
man.
own thing
Yeah.
and just ignoring Marvel and not trying
mean,
to
you-
compete with.
Right, which I think they're starting to go that
You,
route.
you look
kinda.
at like Captain America, which there wasn't really any special animation graphics effect except to make him look strong, but that you really didn't
It's
see.
too patriotic a character to work. It shouldn't have worked.
It shouldn't have worked. You really didn't see any like animation, any CGI. You saw some of it, but it wasn't like for you to focus on at all. They took that. Then they took characters from Guardians of the Galaxies to bring them into this Ant-Man. Well, I'm just talking about the difference in like CGI and like Ant-Man had CGI, like a lot of CGI that were main point of focus.
Yeah.
And Captain America, the first one, Winter Soldier, in his films, CGI wasn't the main point of focus. A lot of the special effects were done with like pulleys and stuff like that.
Right.
But in
And then
the,
you
in the
took that-
first Captain America, he was like all when they had him in that like on his head
Oh,
on
he's
someone
skinny?
else's
Yeah.
body
but
or
that,
whatever.
that's
Yeah,
yeah,
skinny
that was
Steve
just
Rogers.
that was just blending. That was really that was.
I
just
liked it though. I
yeah.
thought it looked good. Like, I
It-
thought
no,
it did look- it
yeah,
looked
yeah.
really
I was
good.
surprised.
It looked
actually.
great, yeah. And then you have Guardians of the Galaxy,
Which
which
is
is
all
all
green screen,
CGI,
all CG.
pure. That's what feeds it because it's a space film, sci-fi film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They brought these two like separate worlds
same-
together,
yeah.
you know, and it's just
No, they
And
did.
it worked.
it's
Yeah, it
amazing.
works.
It works.
It's just so fucking amazing.
It's technically
And what
proficient.
saddens me is that I don't feel a fucking impact from it. But I get it. I
I-
understand your feelings for it.
Yeah,
Nick.
here's the thing, and because Neil's bringing up these various points about it being kind of like, you know, unbelievable, but I'm like, what I do with these movies is I suspend disbelief. I just go, you know what? These are comic book movies. I know what I'm watching. You know what I mean? And It's harder as you get older and you
don't
get
you
a
want
little bit more
stakes?
cynical.
Don't you want there to be stakes? Like, don't you
you're
want to
saying
know?
that like there's no stakes. Like
Yeah, but like-
this is the biggest stakes we've ever had in any fucking movie ever in the history of cinema.
But not really. You say that, but not really. Like there's no.
You're saying you didn't feel it, but it was there. I'm just saying they were there.
When you watch a thriller and like
Half the
somebody's being
universe
stalked
gone in
by
an
like a
instant.
killer, like you feel like this character might die. But in this universe, I don't
That's
feel
not
like
stakes.
anyone.
We're not talking about stakes. You're talking about empathy or feeling like you
I'm
feel what
the
they
stakes-
feel, sympathy almost. No, because the stakes.
are you talking about
stakes
the
of an
stakes-
individual person being killed by a serial killer or by some stalking killer is not the same as the stakes of half the universe.
You're talking about the
being
stakes that
wiped
sets an
out.
emotion.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
He's talking
like,
about something that sets an emotion. Yeah.
like
You don't have an emotional stake in the movie, is what you mean.
Well, no, I mean, there's that, but I also don't think that, like, even though they all turned into dust in this movie, like all the characters that did, like, I don't. It's not that I'm in denial. I just know that these movies are backed by people that like to make money, and these characters that they've killed off make them money, and they're gonna they're gonna find a way to bring these characters back, and people are gonna go along with it and be happy with it and be like,
Okay,
But don't you
if
think-
this doesn't
but-
happen in 1
Here you go.
year, I'm splicing this audio. If this doesn't happen, I'm splicing
No,
this into
that's
whatever
not fair.
episode.
He likes to
No,
splice
That's not-
stuff.
I'm
they can drag
earmarking
this shit out.
episode.
So you know how
Doesn't
modern
matter.
society only remembers like 24 minutes worth of content in our world. So like,
here's the other thing that I have to say about it too. Is like that's the thing about if you look at some of these scripts, this is what makes it like even like more incredible how they wrote it. They wrote things that you shouldn't have accepted, like loopholes.
Yeah.
That are in there. Like I was sitting there and I was like, well, Doctor Strange could have turned back time and he could have fixed this shit,
he could have.
but he didn't.
Two things. One, he didn't have a solution. Like if you went back in time, what's he gonna keep
But
doing
that's
that
what-
until
He can
he's
he
the thing,
can go
was-
back until he figures out a
What
solution.
he was trying to do, because there's two things about that real quick. I just have to tell you this: is one, he didn't want to open it up because once he opened that thing up, it was exposed, and if they ended up getting their hands on it, then he lost it. It was sealed by that spell. And
But then I give it
No,
back
no,
to
no.
you where he then hands it to him.
Two things about that. Yeah, he knows.
Yeah.
He knows the answer to that. But one thing. The second thing is there was a scene where he tried to grab it real quick to do it, and Thanos grabbed him first. Like there was a battle. There's a point where he tries to do it. It's I think that scene where they're going back and forth, and he creates like a bunch of
All
him.
that like
he creates like
whipping his
1,000 of
hands around,
him.
the yoga shit. Like
I fucking love that.
I wish
Doctor
he didn't
Strange
have to
shit.
do all that yoga stuff.
When he grabbed the fake
to
one?
do
I know.
a spell.
No. That's a different scene. No, the scene. There was a scene where he goes to try and reverse back time. He did try to grab it to reverse back time, and Thanos grabbed him. It was like he grabbed him or did something where he didn't end up. I think he grabbed his arms or some shit, and it was because he has to do that yoga shit, Tai Chi, in order to fucking create any kind of spell.
But like he did sit down and meditate, and he went through like
14,605,000
variations. Yeah, of like of how the future is going to play out, and one of them they all win.
Yeah.
And so that's why he says to Stark, like,
There was no other way.
There was no other way, and then he died.
So he had to give him the stone because that's the
Which
only
it
way to
basically
somehow
is
have them
hinting to
win.
the audience, like they're going to win, guys.
There's a
So
victory there somewhere,
There's a
but we don't know
potential
how.
victory
Yeah.
if.
Okay, yeah, all right, cool.
Yeah,
so I'll
that-
take that back.
So what
Anywho-
did happen to the glove? Like right when he snapped his fingers, it was all.
It was all
crushed.
fucked up, right? I
Yeah,
know.
wasn't it all fucked up looking?
Isn't that crazy if they're all destroyed and now you can't
I'm
reverse
just
it?
saying,
Because it
there's all
seemed
these-
like they could be fucking destroyed and you can't reverse it now.
Yeah. And then there's like there's I don't know why, maybe this stood out to me and it shouldn't have stood out, but there's that scene where the scientist chick from like Black Panther world.
Yeah.
where
Oh,
they had
it's his sister, by the way.
His
If
sister?
you
I
haven't
haven't
seen
seen
Black
Oh,
Black
Panther.
yeah, where
that's
she
his
takes
sis-
takes the
that,
yeah,
the alien chick is coming in.
That's
it's
Black
like-
Panther's
and then
sister.
she looks over and then
Yeah.
she does some shit really quick and then hits like
Yeah.
something
she-
like she finished something.
Seems like she finished something.
yeah,
right?
and
It's
so I'm
like
like,
she
there's
saved
all
them.
these weird little things that they don't flesh out.
That's good though. You're
That's
supposed
good.
to do that.
That's good. I think that's good. I think those are like
You have to find criticism. You have to find fault with the right things, Neil. Otherwise, you do sound ridiculously cynical.
You know,
You
and
have-
I
you
will
can't just
say,
grab
you know
something
what
for the sake
really
of grabbing
irritated
something.
me actually?
Okay,
Other than the
more bullshit.
fucking half the universe. Oh god. damn.
Why though?
That's so stupid. Anyway, isn't it stupid? Can you guys fathom?
That doesn't matter though.
That
you're
is
just
what
mad
it is.
because
Like,
you're just
honestly, it's
fucking
the
mad.
amount of life in our galaxy is literally a drop of water in the oceans
What were you
of
gonna
our
say?
planet.
You're just
Like,
mad
that's what
because
the universe is. The
Thanos
oceans
took
of
everybody
all
out
the
with a
water on our
Nintendo Power
planet.
Glove.
He sure did. He definitely did.
No, yeah, that's a
Oh.
great scene because I think like I think it's good because those things that they did. Now that I think about it, I take that back with Doctor Strange because I really didn't think that through.
Right.
I think they're placements for the next films.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
little clues. They're little
They would
hints of
they
things.
create
like-
loopholes
it's like
and then they
Doctor-
tried to answer the loophole like shortly after.
But isn't that? But here's
They
the
did that
thing.
throughout this
That's
whole
so
movie.
incredible.
If you were younger,
They know that, and they write that in. They fix it.
Yeah.
That's
I said that
awesome.
to Diego. I said if
That's
I was like
fucking
15 and I
crazy.
saw this, I'd be crying my eyes out at the end. I'd be so sold on this shit. I'd be like, this is the greatest.
and then
movie
once you
ever
were,
made.
and once you're to the age you are now, you would look back on those movies fondly. So I'm just saying, try and fucking find that part of you inside. It's not dead. Thanos didn't snap his fingers to kill your childhood innocence and wonder and sense of awe. It's in there somewhere. So maybe tap into that fucking thing with regard to these movies, because that's all I do with regard to these movies. That's all I do is like, I want a movie that I can escape from, and I could just live in a fantasy world that's light, it's fun, there's action, it's interesting.
I know what happened.
And that's what
I know
happens with
exactly
those.
what
There are
happens.
some movies that are these big CGI blockbusters that I don't like particularly. I'm like, ugh, these Marvel movies are not one of them because I feel like they are fun.
You
They
know,
are fun.
You know,
You're
you know
right.
what
It's
you know
the
what your
humor.
problem is.
Yeah.
You know what your problem is. I think you're just fucking angry because he killed Zoe, and you were sitting there like, how the fuck you gonna
Zoe
kill the
Saldana, Gamora?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you
I
gonna
actually
kill
knew that
the
he was
most-
gonna kill
the
her.
cutest girl in
Like,
this fucking
well
film,
before.
I
and
like
you're gonna
that
kill
scene.
her. I was like, I don't want to watch this anymore.
when Chris Pratt couldn't kill her, I was like, oh, he's gonna kill her. Because he's gonna find some reason he needs to kill her to get the Infinity Stone. Like I predicted all of this shit because I've watched movies too many times. I've seen too many movies, and I can see patterns in movies.
Did you think he was
well
going
before.
to? Did you think he was going to be able to wipe out half the universe by the end of the movie?
Yes.
Only because you saw the spoiler. See, that's
No,
not fair.
well,
That's
I just
not
saw
fair.
that. I just saw that like 3 specific major characters had died, and,
Yeah.
and then when you watch the movie, a lot.
Did
more
you
fucking
think he
people
was going
die.
to win at the end? I'm talking about earlier on in the movie, not 5 to 10 minutes before it
I think the
I
movie
did
had a
because
pattern
I
of
read
everyone
comics.
failing.
Yeah, it's in the comic. Yeah.
I think it's easy to predict that because when you watch the film, like they just fail, lose a stone, fail, lose a stone, fail, lose a stone,
Right.
fail, lose. It just and he just keeps going, and you're like, even if he doesn't get this last stone, like part of me hoped that he didn't get the last stone. Like I was invested.
Right. Right.
The fact that I even had that thought, I'm like, oh man, she destroyed it. Like fuck you, motherfucker. And then he's
Right.
just like, pop, pop,
Boop,
pop,
boop.
pop. He just
And
pulled out his
rewind time.
fucking remote, like Adam Sandler in that fucking movie.
Click.
And just
Yeah.
click,
Yeah.
he clicked that shit. And then I was like, oh, all right. Not that I was sad that he won, but I was just like,
I know.
got tricked.
Didn't you lean in and whisper? You're like, he's just gonna reverse that shit. You said something like that. When
Oh,
we were
did I
watching
say
the movie.
that?
You were like, this motherfucker's gonna reverse time. I'm like, is he? That's what I said to you. I'm like,
But
watch
you
the
knew
fucking
when you
movie.
saw it,
Yeah, I'd already
though.
seen it.
But see, when you watch these films, can you just turn your mind off and not think?
Yeah,
Because
that's what I do.
it's
No, I
hard for
think,
me.
I'm thinking, okay, what's gonna happen? I'm predicting
I like
things.
my mind just
but
like
it doesn't-
tries to solve it before I know the answer, and then it's
But that's
like I
not a
can't
bad
stop.
thing. Yeah, but I'm okay
It is a
with
bad
that.
thing because
do
then
that
I
in
know what
movies.
happens, and then at the end, I'm
No,
like,
but then sometimes
oh.
you're wrong though. Like I do that too. And
I love it
sometimes
when
I
I'm
solve
wrong.
it.
When I'm
Yeah.
wrong, then I'm like, this is the greatest movie I've ever seen.
When
Like,
we
those
went
are
and
the
saw
movies that I love.
Murder on the Orient Express.
I didn't say it with you.
Who did I see that with? Kelly? Somebody. I saw it with somebody.
Yeah.
And I predicted it before it happened.
Oh, what was going on?
Literally, like,
It's the exact same ending as all.
yeah, but
the
I'd
other
never seen.
versions, yeah.
I'd never seen the earlier ones. So I quarter way through the movie, I wrote down in my phone what the end was.
Yeah.
And whoever I was with and saw it with, I showed him it. And I was
And
like,
you
I wrote
predicted
this.
it?
Yep, I predicted exactly what it was.
That's so funny. I watched that with my my nieces and nephew and like my sister. She just bought it and like they were all depressed. Like none of them had seen it, had seen the earlier renditions, and like they were just like excited because Johnny Depp was in it and Kenneth Branagh was in it and all these like all-star cast. And so we watched this movie and I'm hyping it up like it's this great fucking movie because I thought it was great. The first time I saw it, I was like my mind was blown.
I like the ending, yeah.
70s version. And then they watched it and they were like, that was like super sad, Uncle Neil. And I was like, what? I was like, wasn't it crazy? And they're like, no, it was sad. Like they're
is.
all murderers.
Right.
And Johnny Depp's like this horrible person. And I was like, oh, well, I mean, you guys look at it that way. Like he's not Captain Jack Sparrow. He's a piece of shit in this movie.
Yeah.
Got to differentiate.
Yep.
Anyway.
Pretty much.
That was pretty harsh.
All right, back to back to.
Anyways,
We
in
were gone.
retrospect, I'm just saying I predicted that, and I'm like, doesn't make the movie shitty. I predicted it.
Yeah.
It was a good movie. I'm just saying that doesn't necessarily play into. Not every movie needs to be a Kubrick layered, multi-layered, crazy, leaves
I'm
you
still
fucking.
trying to solve them Kubrick films.
I know, but I'm like,
that's why
I don't want. If every movie was a Kubrick film, I'd kill my fucking self. Okay, I don't want
you
that.
could just stop watching movies.
No,
Jeez.
I can't. Are you kidding? Why am I investing all this time into this fucking podcast for over a year now just because I could turn off watching movies?
If every movie was a
I'm-
Kubrick movie, we wouldn't have this podcast probably.
If every movie was a Kubrick movie,
People would be trying to
unhappy.
figure this shit out.
People would be fucking depressed and be wishing for a Thanos snap.
Yeah, it would be like
that would be that.
Hey everyone, welcome to Get to the Podcast, where we're still trying to figure out Kubrick's first film.
Yeah.
This is episode 146.
I want variety. I want variety and no
No,
more.
I know. I also want.
We have
variety,
so
you're
much
right.
variety now, and people
Look,
be like,
it's-
"I'm tired of superhero movies." I'm like, that's not all there is. It's unfortunate.
Why do you always take devil's advocate? How are you not tired? That's what I don't understand. Like, how can you not be?
How did you watch 5 seasons of fucking House of Cards?
Because it's an incredible series.
Oh, okay, good. This is an incredible series of movies.
You know what's funny?
House of Cards is way.
You know what's
better.
funny?
Any
I have
Marvel
not
movie.
watched. You know what's funny? I have friends that are in that show, but
Except
I
for
have
Kevin
not watched
Spacey.
one
Kevin
fucking
Really?
episode.
Neither have I
of-
actually.
Kevin
have not
Spacey's
watched
a bad guy.
Yeah.
So.
Also,
I have-
Westworld sucks.
Wow.
I'm just trolling Neil. I love Westworld. It's a good show.
I gotta watch Westworld.
No, Westworld's really good, but fuck you, Neil.
But you know the other. To be honest, I
Can
feel
we
like
go back
we've
to
had
the
this
movie?
conversation before.
We are. We're talking about
Oh, okay.
2 hours versus like 12 hours. of
2 hours and
content.
38
like
minutes.
if you give me 12 hours of like intriguing, like every hour, it's like a cliffhanger that makes you want to come back and watch the next episode, like of House of Cards. Like to me, that's more. I don't know. Like I'm not saying I like it more than film, but it's more engaging to me
Right.
because it's like
'Cause you
I
get
alre-
a break,
If
or
I'm
what?
well, no, if I'm hooked on like the first episode, it's like I want more. You know, you watch a film that you love and you want more. Like after it ends,
Yeah.
and it's like wasn't enough. Like you get that, you actually get that from a television show that you really like. Whereas with film, you watch a movie, a 2 hour movie, and you're like, God, that was so fucking good. Like where you're like, I want like another hour to like explain this or to go and see what happens to that guy or see what happens to that girl.
But not
or-
all the time. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which I love and I've watched a bunch of times.
Yeah, but
I don't
would-
think they're I need another hour to solve this
If
shit.
they,
and do this,
no,
whatever.
not to
I
solve
love
the
Kiss
thing,
Kiss
but
Bang
if there
Bang.
was just another hour of more
Nice
with
guys.
those
Yeah.
actors and those characters and those situations, like I would be okay with that.
Right.
But you don't get that. But with television, you do,
Right.
and that's the difference.
Television still is not. No, it's just for me. I don't see the same quality you see. I really do like shows.
That's so crazy to me.
Like you watch Westworld.
Did you
and
watch Altered Carbon?
I have not watched Altered Carbon yet, but you watch Westworld. And I loved Westworld. I thought it was fantastic. But to me, that still is not up to the quality of like a really fucking solid sci-fi film. There is a difference. There is something that is still TV about it.
ends in an hour?
No, if they took that show and they condensed it into 2 hours and put it in a movie theater, you would feel something's off. You're like, this wasn't created for this medium. There is something off.
No, of
Well,
course.
there's a
No,
lot
I
of
mean,
content
no,
that
you're
you would
saying
never-
I
logical
think Neil
thing.
agrees with me.
No,
Do you agree? 'Cause
it's
only
not
be-
that I disagree.
I'm
or
not saying
agree.
it's bad. It's its
Hold on a
own
second.
thing. I wouldn't compare it,
It's
but you're
not-
trying to compare TVs and movies. I'm telling you to go fuck
It's not
yourself.
that I agree or disagree. It's that they are different medium. If you put a show on at
I'm
the
not
theater,
saying.
it's going
I'm
to be
saying
different.
even cut down the time to a 2 hour
It's
movie.
editing. It's editing is what it is. If you took the
It's
first
yeah.
season of Westworld and edited it into a 2.5 hour movie, I feel like it would be compelling and it would be,
I
like
think
a,
there
like
would
a
still
film.
be things off.
I think they could
No,
make that
because
work.
that's
I
how
don't
it's
think she's still
it's-
editing. There's something on. I don't know if it's the quality of the film.
I
or
don't
there's
get this
something.
argument.
Yeah, there's
I don't get this
something-
argument at all.
No.
I really don't. I really
He's
don't get this
basically
argument.
saying movies are better than television.
No,
No, I don't think there are. I
is.
think-
There's either more time and effort put into it
I
by
don't
the
know, man.
technicians behind it.
No,
There's
I'm not gonna say
something.
that.
Modern
I'm
shows.
telling you, somebody needs to analyze this and come to me
I'm
with
not
a
gonna say
fucking
that.
answer because there's something
not gonna say that.
different, and it's not the length or
You
the
cannot
editing.
say. You
They don't
cannot
shoot it
say.
at 24 frames per
No,
second.
you cannot say.
That's
You
not
That's
cannot
not
say-
what it is. They
No.
totally doing 23.97.
You cannot say
frames per
that
second.
That's what it
shows
is, it's
like
that 0.3
Game of
frame.
Thrones,
0.03.
hold on, shows like Game of Thrones, shows like Altered Carbon.
No, Game of Thrones is not the same. No, you watch their fucking. You know what it is?
Listen to what I'm saying.
It's their-
Listen
it's
to what I'm
their
saying. I
special-
think
it's
you
their,
answered
visual
you're
effects.
answering.
It's their visual effects. I'm fucking telling you, that's what it is.
visual
Look at the
effects-
Game of Thrones visual effects compared to I'm not saying some cheap ass fucking Twilight movie visual effects because that's
that was
basically
bad.
TV.
That was
They're
bad.
really bad.
How are you
No,
saying
Game of
these
Thrones
things?
visual effects is not as good as a fucking big, huge blockbuster film.
I don't know, man.
What the fuck is wrong with this
No, you're
dude right
wrong.
now?
No,
I think it is.
no.
What is-
Let's talk about it
what
for a
is-
second. No, you're
No,
fucking
no.
wrong.
Dude, you need to watch Altered Carbon. Altered
Altered
Carbon
Carbon,
is
but
like
if
a
I-
special effects
I don't need to go
showcase.
Altered Carbon.
Like Altered Carbon
Game of
is like-
Thrones has the same quality as
It does. So I would say the last couple
you can't-
seasons, there's like a lot of special effects.
You cannot. No, I understand. They're both two different platforms. I hate when people say
Platforms?
platforms. I hate when people say, "Oh, it's not as good as the book." It's two fucking different platforms.
Right.
The book
True.
is totally different
Right.
than a fucking film.
I agree.
You don't read a book as you're watching a movie, and you don't watch a movie as you're reading a book. They're two different things. They're two different platforms. The content that inside those two platforms are actually different, and how they're utilized and put together, they're actually different, and they're presented differently. It's the same thing between film and television shows.
Right.
They're presented differently. They're written differently. They're structured differently. So they're not going to be the same. The quality thing, I don't agree with it.
You know,
I've seen plenty of shows where they have the same quality as a high budget film because it's there. They have the
I don't think
budget
that's
for.
true.
Yeah, I think it's 100% true.
I don't think
I
it
think
is. You're
I think
telling me they spend... Because how much money do they spend?
I know they spend like how much? They spend like
Fucking-
10 million an episode on Game of Thrones or
Yeah.
something.
Look
That's
how
a
So,
lot of
and that's how
money.
many hours for a season compared to a 2-hour movie that spends the exact same amount on a visual effects budget? I just don't
$300
think it's
million.
true.
What are you talking about?
No, these fucking big budget special effects films I'm talking about are like $200 to $250 million fucking films, and you're telling me they're spending $10 million an episode on Game of Thrones and somehow getting
No, they
away
spend
with
more
a cheaper
than they spend
visual
more
effects
than that.
budget?
No,
Did
they
they?
spend more than that.
I thought they like slowly.
Let me find out how much
slowly,
they spend.
like moved
I
up to
don't
that.
give a shit. What I'm trying to
There
say
we
is
go.
no. I'm saying no.
that-
You can look at it. I'm just saying like we could sit there and get too far off track. I'm just saying
But
I don't
What's your
think.
comparison to Game of Thrones? Well, like the
Okay,
Hobbit?
let's do this then.
Hobbit?
I know you're not gonna like this example, but let's take the Marvel shows on Netflix compared to the Marvel movies.
You can't do it. You just
in a weird
This
way.
No,
is-
that's a direct.
This is not even an argument to me. This
Jessica
is so,
Jones'
it's-
special
it's
effects
just-
are pretty shitty. I
it's
like
like-
Jessica Jones, but the visual effects in that show are fucking wanting. They're like they're not good. As Luke Cage and Iron Fist are like slightly better, but like they're not like the movie
That's
quality.
a bad comparison.
You're
That's
not
a direct
meant-
compare. I'm just trying to take literally TV to movie on the same fucking genre or even the same studio, basically. Not. I read a whole article recently how they're not actually done by the same studios technically, even though they're both Marvel.
That's
There's like a difference between Marvel Entertainment and Marvel Studios, which is the movies, and they're
This is
literally, even though they're quote unquote in the same world, they'll never really cross over
Yeah.
because they're not actually run by the same people. They don't answer to the same people. They're like different studios practically.
Yeah.
This is still a pointless argument. Apples and oranges.
I like how he did some research and then he didn't say shit about
no,
it.
no,
He's like,
I
this is
did
a pointless argument.
No, it's no. They spent. It said between $10 to $20 million.
Okay, so what
per
Neil
episode.
basically said. Okay, but I'm sure they go up. And I'm not saying Game of Thrones is bad. I'm just saying there is something different. And I don't think it's just the editing or length of the shows. I don't think that's what it is. And I'm not saying you need like anything more on TV shows. I think they're fucking awesome. I'm just saying it's not the fucking same thing. There's something different.
You know what it is? It's because you watch
It's
it on
hard
your
to
TV.
argue with him right now.
He watches
Maybe
it
that's
on
what
his
it is.
TV. That's what it is.
It's
that
hard-
could be part of it.
What? Because you what?
No,
Because
what he
he's
just
not
said.
he's not watching Game of Thrones episodes in a movie theater. He's not watching Altered Carbon or any of these.
I truly believe
House of
that's where
Cards in a
movies-
theater. Because I think House of Cards, even though it doesn't have a CG
Yeah.
particular, I mean maybe they use CG. If they do, I don't know. I haven't seen it, but the way that is shot is
Yeah.
like any incredible drama
Right.
that I've seen on film
Right.
in a theater.
Right.
Like the way they shoot that film is like incredibly well done.
We spend a lot of minutes here.
Anyways,
Let me snap. Let me snap back.
Yeah.
Back to
real quick.
Infinity
Okay,
Wars.
back to this will bring us back into the Avengers: Infinity War. That I just read today that they what they wanted to do. I think the visual effects guys who did Avengers: Infinity War wanted to do that scene where he snaps his finger and there's like a white like a fade out or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They wanted to insert a single frame from the comic of the snap. They wanted to actually insert that so quick that you didn't really even notice it.
Yeah.
But it would kind of give that same, because that's exactly what happens in the comic. It shows him, it shows him go like this, put his finger up, it zooms in on his hand, and he goes snap, and then it goes white, and there's the word snap across the panel in the comic books, and they wanted to insert that in, and
Little subliminal messaging.
yeah, they didn't.
That'd be
go,
cool
They
if
didn't go
they
for
did
it.
that.
That would have been cool. They didn't go for it.
I honestly, I mean, the only reason I even knew about the snap thing was because I read about it.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know that was a thing in the comic book. I don't remember
that. I didn't know the
looking for it,
Infinity
or-
War comics, so I didn't even. Infinity Gauntlet, I think, was the name of the comic.
And I remember watching the film in that scene, and then like seeing the snap, and then next you know he gets like whoosh, you know, sucked away, and then everything. Or no, it was a snap and it fades.
Yeah.
And then you see him sitting like on some planet somewhere, and
Well,
he's,
no,
like,
it shows
looking-
everybody fade.
He's at Titan,
and
right?
then he gets sucked out, like he ends up teleporting somewhere or whatever. the
Yeah,
fuck.
and then
then he
there's
ends up
like
going to the
young
sunset.
There's young
Gamora.
Gamora there, and then he's sitting
You're right,
there.
that
and he's
is
just
when he did
smile,
it.
like
Yeah,
he
that's
kind
right.
of half smiles, and
Yeah.
then it cuts back to Captain America, and everybody's like, "Where is he?" And then they just start showing people die
That's
one by
right.
one,
Yeah.
or turn into dust or whatever. And then I was like, I'm a little confused, but I kind of understand what happened. I was a little like, wait, what's happening right now?
Right.
But then,
Yeah,
you know.
I liked it. But I like that GIF and that image that's going around of Thanos, but he's got the Mickey Mouse head, and he's putting in the different studios or whatever. He's got 20th Century Fox and you know, it's Marvel, all this stuff, and then it's like putting DC as the final stone. His
That's
Infinity
hilarious.
Gauntlet. All right, well there you go. We ran out of time.
Did we run out of time?
We're out of time.
55 minutes.
So
left.
we love.
I feel like we didn't
hate
spoil enough.
this movie. No, we love hate this movie. I
I'm
think
trying to think of something spoilery to say. I was I'm shocked that Loki died. I honestly, I want him to come back. After watching Thor Ragnarok,
the
I'm
first
like, out of
person to
all
die.
the characters, I want Loki to come
he's
back.
first guy to die.
I like how he redeemed himself a little bit.
Yeah,
and,
he's redeemed himself a little bit more and more after every film, even though he was like the main bad guy in the first Avengers.
I completely
film.
forgot that. Maybe Thanos is going to
He's
become
kinda
a
like-
good guy and join the Avengers in Avengers.
He's kind of like that
Five.
bad guy
Like Heroes
in
season
I could totally
two.
see that.
He's kind of like that bad guy in a TV series, which lingers on throughout each episode and comes back to do something evil in the end.
He is.
Or,
I mean,
or turn around and do something nice. So it's similar to like a movie.
yeah. he like
Get my
he-
pun on.
I
Yeah,
get
yeah, I got it.
All right, because it was good.
I get that he like and it's kind of become like a joke character, but the way they handled him in Ragnarok, I thought was fantastic.
Yeah.
He was hilarious.
Yeah, it was.
He was great. He was great. All of it was great. And, look, I give you 2 thumbs up. I understand why you're
2
so
thumbs
into
up. 2 out of
I didn't
2.
got-
2 out of 2.
2 out of 2. That's 100%.
That's 100%.
I
You
give-
enjoyed the
I'm
movie,
giving-
did you not?
I'm
You enjoyed
giving-
the movie, right?
1.5 thumbs.
Did you
I
enjoy the
give
movie,
him
Diego?
2 thumbs up because seeing this film, it's a technical spectacle.
Yeah.
It really
It's
is.
storytelling, really.
The storytelling, it just amazes me.
Honestly, it was firing on
amazes
all
me.
cylinders. It's just I get what you guys are saying, and I
You're
do
right.
understand that.
I enjoyed it. I liked
Yeah.
it. Diego liked it. You liked it a
That's
lot.
all it needs.
All like having 10 years of films all converge on this like one event
Yeah.
that they kind of been hinting at more or less throughout all of those
All of
films
them, yeah.
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
like amazing that they've been able to even pull this off. And in that I'm in awe of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also realize that it's just I don't know. It's just not they're not for me.
Let me ask you this.
That's where I
Let
fall.
me
Like,
ask you
I'm not-
this.
I get it. They're not
I'm
for
not
you.
going to
Because I
look
think
back in
this
10
is-
years and be like,
But you were
"Man,
entertained.
Infinity Wars.
That's all it was supposed to do was entertain
It
you.
did.
You don't
It
need to be a
entertained me.
fanboy going to Comic-Con. And
I
I
want to
don't think
be
you
a
need to be.
fanboy of this, and that's I think the thing that upsets me.
I'm
is that
actually
I'm
not. I don't have shirts for it. I don't go to Comic-Con. I just enjoy the movies. That's all it is.
You would think.
No, think about it. What I don't even own any of the Marvel movies. This
What?
is what's crazy. I don't own a single fucking Marvel
I
movie.
know. I don't either.
Oh,
I
wow.
think I have Iron Man that I bought on iTunes like 10 years ago or something like that, but that's about it.
I, have the
I don't
Spider-Man-
own any of
I
them.
have the original Spider-Man trilogy.
Well, I have those.
and-
I have,
and
I have
all
that
the X-Men
trilogy.
films,
Yeah, I have the
except for
X-Men.
new ones.
I'm talking about these Marvel movies.
don't
I
have
don't
the new
have
ones.
any, so it's like I'm not a fanboy in that way. I just enjoy the movies, and that's all I need from them. I think you're craving something more.
I am.
And you're not
I
getting
always-
that. And
that's what I love
I'm
about film.
comfortable, and I'm
You know
content
what
with
I
where
think
I'm
it is?
at with them.
You
and
know what I
want
think it
more,
is?
and you're finding fault
He's
in
having
that.
the same thing. He's a little bit deeper in it,
Yeah.
but it's the same thing that I feel, which is hard, is the fact that there's no super in it. Because we don't feel the super because there's been so many. And it's not just Marvel. It's like I,
I
said,
get that. It's
it's
commonplace
DC
now.
and
It's common.
everything.
Yeah. Do you remember
It's-
when
it's-
Tobey
it's like a
Maguire
common-
first got bit by the shit, and then he took his glasses and went to put them on? And it
Oh,
was
the
like all
special effects
blurry?
of him swinging through the fucking.
But even before
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
like he's like this geeky guy,
He's all
like
muscular.
yeah, and he's all like fucking beef caked up, and and then you know it's just like you're like in awe of that. You're like that
Exactly, yeah.
transition.
Yep.
And then it happened in a couple more movies, and now it's just like they don't even have. Do they even still have these? Like some of these characters are just gods in general. Like they're
Yeah.
born that way.
Yeah,
There's
Thor.
they don't become superheroes.
Right.
They're not. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they're just born super.
No, I know.
And it loses,
I get that.
Yeah, and it was
loses
like
its
it would have been
uniqueness.
cool. It would have been cool. Here's the thing.
Batman's
It
a
would have
real
been cool
superhero,
if
let's
I
be
didn't
real.
see
It's
if I
not
didn't
super.
if I had that moment with Spider-Man. They
rich.
didn't show that suit prior in the other film.
It did. It showed Spider-Man Homecoming.
I'm saying
Oh, you're
if
saying
it didn't,
Okay.
if it didn't, that would have been the moment they could have right there. The new Spider-Man suit, you know. So
Yeah.
it's a.
I mean, he
but
never put
you
it
know
on
what?
in
You
an
know,
earlier movie.
But
They
that's the thing.
he
I
turned it
can't fucking complain
that
about
suit
the
he
film.
wears is in the Spider-Man Homecoming. It's at the end of it. He doesn't put it on though. It's just
Yeah.
it shows it for like a half a second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I said, I can't. Throughout the other Marvel films, I can sit there and say jokes about it, but I can't say anything about this one. I can't say I'm like locked. I can't say anything bad about this film, and I can't. And I feel bad because I can't truly give it.
Did you enjoy it?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Good. Okay, cool.
I know where you're going. Yeah,
You know,
I
that's it.
enjoyed
At
the
the
film.
end of the day, like, I don't even know how I would change it
Right.
to make it more
Yeah,
appealing to me.
What
You know
can
what I
you?
mean?
Yeah,
Like,
you
to-
can't
to
really
my
change.
taste. Like,
I'll tell you
I
one
don't
thing
know
I
what
would
would
change.
do.
I don't
I'll
think
tell
you
you
need
one
anything
thing I
more
would
of it. I
change.
feel like that's what you keep trying to convince yourself of. You don't need anything more. You enjoyed it
See?
one time in theaters.
You're saying
and
I
you're good.
expect more because I know for a fact that films can give me more, and this medium can
But you
give
just
me
said
more.
you don't know what you
and
would
I-
change to even make it better.
That's what I'm saying, but I do know that this could have been made in a
There's-
certain way, that it could have given everybody more, and it could have created more of an emotional impact with everybody.
don't think it
Don't
could've.
don't
if they
think that
wanted
you're
to really take this
know.
world seriously.
I don't think
with
they
how much
really
money
make
it makes,
serious.
it's hitting the lowest common denominator.
It
anyways,
is,
you can't
and
go higher than that
I've
if you want to
always-
reach as many people as it reaches.
That's always
the fact
been
that
a
you can
turnoff for
enjoy a
me.
movie that some person that you have absolutely nothing in common with, some fucking pedophile redneck piece of shit.
Why does he always go there?
He hates pedophilia and rape. I don't understand.
I think everybody.
Yes,
I
I
do.
know. That's the
I
whole
hate
point.
those words.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
Neil is
fucking, like,
neither of
worst
those
words
two
in the
that I
world.
know of. So I'm saying,
What? How did this get turned on me?
because you're a piece of shit, Neil. All right. Anyways, let me snap my fingers because we got to be done with this.
We
Ready?
gotta be. I forgot what I was gonna say anyway. So
Okay, good.
all right. So
Well, here.
I still forgot. Yeah, get another glove because
Killing your brain cells one by one. You don't even know what's happening.
Obviously, you don't know it's not working.
Is there finger
Oh,
snaps
this
in
is
that?
what I
Oh,
was gonna
no.
say. The only thing that I disliked, and I thought it was kind of like I guess I'm gonna say a waste of space. In a way, and it's for the
Kinda
first
like you.
time. It was Groot.
First off,
He does
I-
something
look-
at the end.
yeah,
No,
he's
yeah,
the
he
one
was-
that creates
yeah,
the
he
axe
finally does
panel for
something.
him,
But
and
his
then he
whole
fights the
adol-
battle at the end. He's
Yeah.
just a piece
Yeah.
of shit teenager for the whole movie.
Which
I like that 'cause he's so-
because they really
It's-
didn't do anything.
He's very
with it.
powerful, and if he had actually cared or he didn't give a shit the whole movie because he's a piece of shit teenager. That was the whole point. And by the way, that's actually not technically Groot. That's like Groot's offspring or son in a way. James Gunn finally fucking clarified. He's always dropping these tidbits on Twitter, which I find are interesting. James Gunn's always answering fans that ask him questions, and he'll give some deep fucking meaning or understanding to something that is like, holy shit. They're like, blah, 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 Groot. He's like, well, first off, that's not Groot. He said that after Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. People were like, what? He goes, no, if you remember, Groot died in the first one. He's dead. He's not coming back. This twig or whatever is his son in a way. This is actually just a toy. He doesn't have any
They're
memories.
asexual.
Yeah, he doesn't have any memory of Groot's experiences or anything. It's a completely different being. Yeah. Groot. Anyways.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us at this spoiler. I mean, we had
Feels-
to.
yeah, we had to. It
there's
felt good
nobody
to
out
not
there
hold
not
back.
there's nobody out there not spoiling this film.
Yeah.
So we kind of had to talk about it before it died out.
Exactly.
So, but thank you for joining us at Get to the Podcast. That's Get to the Podcast with the number 2. My name is Tiago D'Souza.
I am Groot.
Gambino.
Yeah, that one.
You're fucking like
You're Neil Carson.
winter like version of Groot.
I'm winter version of Groot?
Yeah.
Listen, it's Vin Diesel.
Oh, Vin Diesel?
Wait, so wait.
what?
Is The Rock anywhere in any of these films?
No.
Did we just ruin
He's
my
going to be
joke?
Black Adam apparently in the Shazam Captain Marvel DC film. He's going to play Black
Oh,
Adam, which is like
alright.
the main
He's
villain,
dipping
actually,
his
I
toes
think.
in this shit.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
And I'm Neil Carson.
For the longest time.
We should all snap.
Oh, 1, 2, 3.
1, 2. Wait. Do slower.
Are we going on 3 or are we going 1, 2, 3 and go or 1,
1,
2,
2, 3 and go.
that?
1, 2, 3, go. No, say it.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, go. That was terrible.
That
That
was
was terrible. We needed to-
1, 2, 3.
All right. On 3?
Do it on 3.
1, 2. 1, 2. 7, 4.
I'll stick it up in post.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.